when I had severe eating disorder, I was self-harming, not in the beginning stages, but when the disease got more severe and I started battling heavy depression as comorbidity, I started to cut myself because I had such an intense and deep emotional pain that I didn't know how to let out otherwise than cutting myself physically. It was like I got an outlet for those feelings. It was like the physical pain kind of numbed the emotional pain in a way. So that is my experience. It's not necessary that self-harm is connected to suicide attempts or suicide ideation. It may be the case for some people, but definitely not everybody. I mean, in general, if one of your friends or a person that you know or a family member start to get more isolated, start to get more quiet compared to what they were before, have more dark thoughts, or start doing odd or abnormal behavior that doesn't really make sense compared to who you know them to be as a person, that could be a red flag. But also on the other side, if a person has been depressed for a long time and you know that, and then suddenly he or she is overly excited or has a sense of relief or euphoria, that can be also be a red flag that they've actually decided to take their life. Because it's not always, you can't really predict these things. You can just get kind of a notion sometimes. And I would say that the best thing to do is to just ask. Because the myth that by asking about suicide, you give or you plant the thoughts in their head is not right. Because the best thing to do is to put words to it and actually ask them straight out, are you considering taking your own life, or would you rather that you died? It can be scary to ask that question, and making space for the person to actually talk and be and cry or just be quiet next to you. I think that's the best thing to do, to just give them that space and that part of your heart and your time, so they feel seen and feel heard. Because as Torben said, that going around with suicidal thoughts is very, very lonesome, because you feel very ashamed, because it's natural as human to want to be alive and to be joyful. But in seasons where depression and grief are very intense, the thoughts of suicide come easily to some people.